hit this. Cool. I think we're good.
We are on.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So perfect. Looks like we are ready to go. So I'm here. My name is Alex from One Up Reality. I'm joined with Sameep Insipires here from Nepal. If you want to just give him a quick introduction about yourself, real quick, your YouTube channel, just a quick couple seconds of that, if you like.
Yeah, sure. First of all, Alex, thanks for having me. I'm really grateful for you inviting me to your interview live session. My name is Sameep Pandey. So I'm basically from Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. I have spent, I think, 90% of my life in India. So like around since kindergarten till my bachelor days, I spent in India, and it's been like around 4 years since I got back to Nepal. I'm currently pursuing a master's MBA, and I'm working as well as an HR. So things are going pretty good for me right now. And speaking of my YouTube channel is obviously, it goes by the name of Sameep Inspires. Sameep Inspires. And this, I got the idea of starting a YouTube channel somewhere in between the lockdown. So it was basically like when you're left with nothing to do, and like all I was doing was surfing through YouTube channels and YouTube videos. And that's when I popped up and stumbled upon a few motivational videos. And that's when the idea of starting a YouTube channel started. Since I'd always had this passion dream of becoming a motivational speaker and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's how I came up with the idea.
For sure. Very inspiring, man. Yeah. So today, I mean, basically what we're going to cover, we discussed that we both have a very good history with meditation, right? And I feel like that's one of the most fundamental things in all personal development and all improvement of your mind is, meditation. So you actually wanted to know, right? You wanted to know, I guess, a bit of my story of how I got started with it.
Exactly.
And yeah, so with me, I mean, I kind of started meditating on and off, I'd say about 6 years ago. Right now I'm 24, so I was 18 when I first started. Because let's just say, when I was younger, I had pretty tough childhood. I had a lot of things going very wrong in my life. And I didn't understand like what was going on in my brain. I didn't understand why I felt so many negative emotions all the time. So luckily, it started with, I think, one book actually, and then one kind of, search for personal development, how to fix, negative emotions or anything like that. And then you go down the road and you kind of learn about, meditation. And then I'll be honest, like here in the West, when you hear about meditation, you kind of think of some like very, very woo-woo kind of weird stuff with it, right? We don't really understand the power of it. But then I said, you know what, I'm going to see what I can do here. So basically when I first started, it was just like a couple minutes, I'd sit down, I'd try and just not do anything, very simple. And then from there though, I started to build an awareness, an ability to really actually observe myself and see what's going on. And from there, I kind of, once I found that extra step and that extra ability, it really started to change everything in my life, started to change everything about me. And then I just fell in love with it. And now I try and do it like every day as much as I can, because I know the power of self-observation, So that's a little bit about my story, but how did you get into it yourself?
Mine is quite similar to yours. I guess it's all about depression and stuff. So let's say this was around when I was around 19 or 20, and when I was doing my bachelor's and when I was in India. And I was really into this bad guy stuff, like being the cool dude and something, like always hanging out with friends and partying and stuff. I think I mentioned this in one of my videos as well. So it was like, I studied in a boarding school, so there was not much to do. We were just caged inside the hostel. We couldn't go out. So like, it was like when I entered my bachelor day, it was like complete freedom. So I didn't know how to handle that freedom. So I got into stuff I wasn't supposed to get into, like, let's keep it that way. And like I was doing
I hear you.
stuff that I wasn't supposed to be doing. And so it looked cool in the beginning. It was like, yeah, I'm living the school life. But then there came a point where things are starting to get out of hand. Things are starting to get messed up, and I was getting into problems, and let's say financially as well. There's to get into this kind of stuff financially, and it was hampering my studies and everything as well. So there came a point when like it got monotonous, and like monotony set in, and it was kind of getting unbearable. So I think it's at that point when things start to get unbearable, and that's when you're left with no option. It's like, and that's when I started. I stumbled upon, I think, this book. I don't know. Have you heard of this movie called The Peaceful Warrior?
No,
It's
I
an
haven't
amazing
actually.
movie. It's based on a true story. It's based on this guy called Dan Millman
Okay.
from USA. So I think his book his movie actually inspired me about. It was all about philosophical stuff, about the power of the mind and being in the here, the now, the true moment, kind of stuff.
Right.
And then slowly I transitioned into like Gautama Buddha's videos and stuff. I'm a follower of the Buddha, so like I follow Buddhism. It's more of a way of life for me than let's say a religion. So that's how from one thing led to another, then it led to another, and I experimented, let's say, with meditation in the beginning. So it kind of felt good, the first time you do it. So after a while, it's tough in the beginning, but then once you get the hang of it, it's like it comes to you automatically, subconsciously. So like it's all about self-awareness, self-realization, I think. So you don't even have to
Yeah.
try after a point. You don't even have to focus. It comes to you on a subconscious level automatically. So
That's
let's just
dang.
say that's
Yeah.
how I got into
It's
meditation
meditation.
and stuff.
For sure,
Yeah.
man. Because I think the main thing too we need to establish for a lot of people is you need to understand like what is meditation really, Because people will hear it and they don't really understand like what's the point? Like why am I sitting there not doing anything? And it's all about the self-awareness, like we both said, right? So it's the mental self-awareness and physical self-awareness, just taking the
Yeah.
time in our fast-paced life across the world to just be with you, because at that point, that's when you can really understand what's running you. We all have our our inner forces that are really guiding us and telling us what to do and pushing us in different directions. So when you have some time to actually sit there and like watch your thoughts and see how your body feels, do you have any type of aches, any pains, like what's going right, what's going wrong. And then once you actually have that awareness, you can make a change, you can adjust. Because if you never do this, you're never really able to do anything differently, because it's automatic. Our thoughts are automatic, everything's automatic. So you need to take some time to realize what's happening, and then from there you can make adjustments to improve. But yeah, like, do you have any other descriptions of
Yeah.
what meditation
I
is to
think,
you and
yeah,
what you do?
exactly. I think you can compare meditation to somewhat driving. I think like when you first learn driving, it's about that conscious effort. You like consciously focusing on the road, the steering wheel, the accelerator, the clutch, the
Right.
manual shifting, and everything. So meditation is somewhat similar. When you start, it's all about focusing that conscious effort. You give in that conscious effort, but then it's similar to driving. As time goes by, I think so. Driving becomes a subconscious effort, right? You don't have to
Right.
focus. Like sometimes you just space out. You're driving and you don't even realize that you have been driving all this way. You just space out, so you zone out, and then you realize, oh, I've
Yeah.
been driving. So meditation is kind of that. So in the beginning, you have to put in that conscious effort. It's tough in the beginning. It's let's say, what to say, it takes effort, lots of efforts in the beginning. But once you get the hang of it, then it's like it's a subconscious effort. You'll automatically. And for me, meditation, I think, is all about self-realization, and most importantly about being in the here, the now, and the true moment. I think best describes what we can describe ourselves as is a true moment. So that's how I describe meditation for me. And meditation, I also believe in the word, the mantra. Basically, if you look up the Oxford dictionary or any dictionary, it simply means repetition. So repetition in a mind. So I just basically repeat like what I want in my life. Let's say if I want to be happy, I just repeat I am happy. Like not I want to be happy, not in the future, but you'd rather like as if you already are. So I am happy. I repeat all those chants and mantras. So I somehow believe it. Yeah, it does work. And once you're done with meditation, you can feel certain changes around, not just emotionally, like even physically, mentally, spiritually. So you can feel the change. And
Yeah.
once you start seeing those changes, it kind of becomes, let's say, addictive. I don't know, addictive as
Oh
a
yeah.
negative connotation, but let's just say it kind of becomes addictive because you want that feeling, every time. So that's how that that's what motivates me to meditate. Like I prefer in the night, right before sleeping. I don't know. What about you?
Yeah. So with me, I kind of I experiment. I do a few different ways, but with me
Yeah.
right now, I do it first thing in the morning. because I like to just jump into it because it builds discipline, right? It's like the first thing you do, you do something that's, tough. It's not very hard to do, but it's something that you need to focus and push your mind to. And then when you can take that to the rest of your day, I feel like it's a good momentum to build for sure. But I definitely, with me, I'll do like little chunks. So I'll do sometimes a few minutes at night. Just anytime I have free time and I just feel like doing it, I'll do a little bit of time because again, it's very effective, man. I think like if you had to think of the most valuable, let's say, skills or most valuable abilities that you've developed through meditation, I'll start with me. I'd say like the biggest thing for me, honestly, is emotional control and emotional intelligence. Because when you do meditation for a while, at least with me, what happens is you start to realize that a lot of your thoughts again are very cyclical. Like I get the same thoughts coming in day by day, and then I realize like, are these thoughts positive? Are they negative? Are they helping me or are they hurting me? And then when I watch that closely, I can realize, okay, if I have a lot of negative thoughts, very good chance I don't feel good. Like my emotions are not positive. So I need to realize that, all right, at this point, I need to adjust my thoughts, watch them, and then I can adjust my emotions. And then when my emotions change, I change and everything becomes better. So that's like my number one skill that I've developed. But what would you say is some of the big ones for you?
A skill developed through meditation.
Yeah, if you had to pick any.
So adding on to your point, controlling your emotions is very important. Other than that, meditation lives in everything we do. Everything, it's all about being in the moment. So for it's all like nirvana. I'm sure you've heard of the concept of nirvana. Nirvana, where
Yeah, yeah,
basically you feel extreme joy and peace and happiness. So I think as humans, we are too busy chasing happiness, but rather happiness is, there is no path to happiness. Happiness itself is the path. So for me, meditation is basically just still being there, forgetting about the external world and just finding answers from within. So, and just being happy being there. So it's about finding happiness with oneself and not looking for happiness in external materialistic world or something. Yeah, you do need those. I'm not saying you should completely cut off from the materialistic world, but there's a limit to it. Everything should be done in moderation. So for me, meditation is basically about that. It's just about being me, being myself, and
yeah,
you don't have yourself, then basically you have nothing. And it's more to do with that emptiness. I don't know. It's like from time to time, I don't know whether you guys get this feeling or not, but from time to time I get this loneliness feeling, and I can't explain why do I feel like that from time. Sometimes it's like
oh,
I cannot explain, I just
yeah,
feel. So it's basically to get rid of that lonely feeling, loneliness, and just being there, being with myself and being happy. So that's just meditation
yeah,
for me.
for sure. Because I would say definitely to add on that, like in today's world, we need this more than ever. Because we're so technology based, right? Even right now, we're on Zoom. Obviously, I can't be there, but everything is just computer, phone, TV. We're so connected, but we're not actually, with people. We're not actually, even when we're with people, we're on our phone. We're not like with somebody actually experiencing them. So I think
Exactly.
that's another thing to add in terms of the loneliness, because we don't actually connect with other people as we used to. We're very, very like go 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 with our lifestyle, and we don't have the ability to have a genuine human connection with other people as often as possible as we used to. So I think meditation and the ability to
Exactly.
go within, and to really, first of all, like appreciate yourself and build a relationship with yourself. Because again, you put anyone in their room with no phone, no TV, no nothing for 10 minutes, they're gonna go pretty it's gonna go crazy up here,
Yeah.
right? So that's why we need nowadays meditation. It's such a key thing. So definitely, you know, anyone who start this habit, I swear it will change a lot of things, and it'll probably get rid of a lot of that loneliness that you're saying, or any type of
Yeah,
other negative
exactly.
emotions. Yeah.
I think loneliness and depression has become a common thing, especially with the newer generations where technology seems to be taking over. So I think we don't know when to stop. So it's like we
Yep.
just we don't control technology. Technology controls us. I basically feel like that. And
Yeah, yeah,
technology, more than rather than connecting people, I feel it's like rather it's just doing the opposite. It's not connecting. So it's basically we are talking to a mobile phone. We're using a phone. Then after we
yeah,
log out, let's take the example of Facebook. We use Facebook, but then it's so addictive. After 5 minutes, come back again. So it's not
yeah.
we that
Honestly,
are controlling technology. They are controlling us, and that has a lot to do with depression and loneliness, I guess, and then the fake lifestyle that you see on social media.
yeah.
So
Oh man, that's a
basically,
yeah,
so I think you realize that with time that because most of the thing that you see on social media is mostly fake, and that, but people don't realize that they take that at face value, and they, which causes depression in them. So yeah, I
yeah,
think
man.
that's why I got into meditation as well, and lockdown has a lot to do with that as well. So it's
Yeah,
basically, I think meditation you can't continuously go. It's like on and off, on and off. So since lockdown happened and lockdown has affected mentally, I think many people, most of the people, including myself and you, I'm sure. So lockdown had a lot to do with me starting meditation again. And in a way, I'm grateful that lockdown happened because it made me realize what I was missing out on. So yeah,
right.
that's it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that's the thing. We make the most of what we have, and then right now you're given the chance to be at home with yourself. So you can either waste it like most people probably do, or you can take the time to focus, do something positive for yourself. So glad that we're both on the same page there, man. But in terms of how you actually meditate, like, do you have a specific routine, specific practice, any fancy things you do, or do you just do it very basic? You just sit down. Like, what's your meditation practice or techniques?
Okay. Good question, actually. Like I said, I prefer meditating in the night, right before going to sleep. So why I prefer in the night is because it's quiet and it's silent and there's no noise around. So it's just you and complete silence. You're left with your thoughts. So that's when I do. And my first would be meditation would be to get into the zone first. Like starting it would be to get into the zone to focus. And like yeah, from time to time thoughts do wander. I do wander up, but then with practice I think subconscious like autopilot, so your mind is on autopilot. So my main focus would be to control my thoughts and then control any negativity, try to replace those negative thoughts with positive thoughts, and basically empty your mind and be there, just you and your thoughts. So control your emotions, your thoughts. And yeah, and I believe that thoughts do affect you, affect your external life as well. Like it does shape your reality in a way. So thoughts become belief system turn into reality. So everything, it starts from here. So your reality, the world that you, the situations, the experiences that you have in life, I think it starts from here. It starts from a thought. So whatever you repeat, whatever you believe is meant for you, happens to you. So basically about programming your mind, like in whatever you believe is best for you. Like for me it's about happiness and everything. So basically about programming your mind and controlling your negative thoughts, replacing them with a positive one. And so with that, I think if you keep repeating that, it becomes a belief system, and that belief system is what shapes your reality, is what I truly believe. So that is why self belief, they say self belief is what creates your reality. So that's for me. And I meditate mostly around half an hour. And when I don't have the time, around 5 or 10 minutes, depends. But on an average, I meditate around half an hour. So that's
Good
me.
stuff, man.
I'd like to ask the same question to you.
Yeah, for sure. That was actually very well put in terms of how everything works with the thoughts and the beliefs. Because I'll just quickly say that if there's one thing I learned from the time when I was very negative, very depressed, very not very happy in my life versus now, it's all came down to the subconscious thoughts I had and the continuous cyclical thoughts I'm having now. Before I always focus on negative things, always focus on what's not going right, and then that would just obviously continue to build that momentum in that direction, and then things get downhill. And then as soon as I meditated and built myself up slowly but surely, that's what allowed me to make so many changes and just create a better emotional state and help my entire life overall. So again, just for everyone who's watching, like, the thoughts that you have from a subconscious and conscious level will create your life completely. That's what it comes down to. But in terms of my practice and what I do, I wake up and I have a couch in my living room that I can just go. I sit down there. I try and I set like a 30-minute timer, 20 or 30 minutes, and then I think a key thing to do in the beginning is having a point of focus, having something to focus on, so you can distract your brain to quiet down a little bit. So if you have anything like a candle flame or any like point on the wall where you can just look at it and just focus on that, then it'll allow you to quiet your mind so you can actually watch it instead of just being too like distracted with everything going on. So I'll look at something, I'll set the timer, and then from there, I'll have, maybe some frequencies playing in the earphones, because that also does help focus.
You do meditate with the music or frequencies?
Sometimes, depending on what I'm feeling, but usually I'm quiet because I'm pretty good now, so I've gotten to the point where I can just do it on my own. I don't need anything. But for new people, I definitely recommend like guided meditation. I don't know if you ever really did those, or any type of frequencies too. But yeah, I'll just sit there, focus 20, 30 minutes, and then I'm not trying to control my thoughts too much, because then like me, I get too obsessed with it, and then I get mad if I can't do it. I try and just like observe them, just let it happen, and then notice what's going on. So see like, oh, my thoughts today tend to be this way, like X, Y, Z, like this, and then I start to notice, okay, the next day, is it the same? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? And then how is that affecting my actual life and what I'm doing? So I just very like a kind of a scientist studying organism. It's what I'm doing with my thoughts. I'm just watching it, seeing what's going on, and then making any adjustments I need to. But that's kind of my whole process. Just once or twice a day, I do that.
I guess everyone has his own way of practicing meditation. There are many ways you can practice meditation. So you have yours, others have their own. But then it basically boils down to the same thing. So anyway, how do you explain your journey since you started meditation to now? How has it helped you grow? How would you like to look back, and how do you think it has helped you? Like, has it changed? Have you changed as a person, spiritually, emotionally, and by how much have you changed? And do you think it really is helpful? And should other people going through, let's say, negative phases, rough patches, should they also like take on meditation? What would you suggest to them?
Absolutely, yeah. First thing I'll say is that definitely, I mean, meditation is like the foundation for interchange. I'm not gonna say it by itself will change your entire life, but because I did a lot of other positive habits, eating right, exercise, other positive activities that had helped me along the way as well. But meditation is the groundwork, because it's the thing that really gives you perspective, true perspective on you. Like, let's say, again, you asked me how it changed me. So when I first started doing it, what I noticed again is that, like, trying to watch my thoughts, I realized that my thoughts are very negative. They're very self-defeating. They're very limiting in terms of me. And that's what was causing all the anxiety, causing all the depression, causing all the lack of confidence I had. A lot of things were going downhill because that's what I believed up here. But then once I started to watch them and then realized that, okay, this is where I really am, and then I need to be okay with it too. You need to build a skill of acceptance of where you are, because when you try and fight it, that's where you can never change. So
you're promoting it. When you fight it, you're promoting it, right?
Exactly. So I got to the point where I could accept it and say, okay, this is not good. This is not working for me. I need to make some changes. So along the journey, again, I started off very small with my time of meditating. I recommend everyone does that in the beginning, because you don't want to set a big goal and then fail and then just quit. You'd rather do literally a minute, 2 minutes a day, and then stick with it, be consistent, than quit. So I did that for a very long time. And then again, in terms of the main things I noticed, I would say, my thoughts, they didn't automatically change, but I was able to stop the wrong thoughts quicker. I was able to become aware of when I'm going down the wrong road. And I'd be like, okay, hold on. Here I go again with these same negative thoughts. Let me stop this. Let me cut this off. And then slowly but surely, the more you do that, you shorten the amount of bad thoughts you have. And then you slowly build the positive thoughts. And then once that becomes subconscious, then you realize it's just automatic. The same way you can have automatic negative thoughts, you can have automatic positive thoughts. So I just changed it from one to the other. And then when you go long enough with positive thoughts that are automatic, everything gets much better. And that's where it became a lot more natural and a lot easier for me to feel good and to do positive things. And then, of course, when you take right action, you get the right results. So you do that for years, it really definitely, changed my life. And I'm extremely grateful that I found that at a young age. Very grateful, because if not, it could have went real bad. But yeah, man, really
So
helped me out in a
basically,
lot
your
of ways.
troubled childhood was a blessing in disguise. Because
Yeah,
had you
no,
not found
that's
that, you would have gone through that sooner or later. I think everyone goes through rough patches, so sooner or later. So you went through it rather sooner than most people do, and let's say it's a blessing in disguise. Let's not
oh yeah,
take anything in a negative way. Yeah, things happen, stuff happen, but I guess it's your perception and perspective how you take those things. I mean, you could have gone the other way as well, but you chose the positive path. You chose the path of change, and you decided to change yourself. So I think most people need to realize this, that everyone goes through rough patches at some point of their life. They have to be, as like, nobody is perfect, and nobody can be always, they can't always go through positive situations and happy. So basically, I think most people, what they do is they just succumb, they give in to the negative situation, to the pain, and they kind of like just quit. And so what
yeah,
I think what they can take away from your life is, I think what they can take away is, there are two paths you can choose: either destruction, reconstruction. So I think you chose the path of reconstruction, and you decided to change your life with whatever means, meditation in this case. So I guess it's let's say an inspirational journey in a way, right?
yeah. I do my best with that, man. Yeah, I'd definitely like to hear your part of the story too, of how you would say meditation itself has changed you or improved your life along the years.
Okay, so like we discussed early on, I think why I got into meditation was because, like, when things got unbearable. So just like your situation, I could have gone two ways. It was like there was a point when life became pretty much meaningless. Life had no meaning. So all the money and everything, whatever I had, so like, kind of always felt empty. Like the feeling of, the sense of being somewhere else, not here. The sense of I should be doing something else. I shouldn't be here. So it was like I was never in the true moment. So my mind was always wandering off. So it was like I should be there, I should be somewhere else, I should be doing something else. So that kind of, so things got unbearable, and like the loneliness is like one of the, I think, worst things human beings can experience is loneliness. So not being alone and being lonely are two very different things. So like, not that I didn't have friends, and I had friends and everything, but it was, even around them I felt kind of like I shouldn't be there. So that loneliness was there. So when stuff got pretty bad and it was like unbearable, it was like I had two choices: either keep going down that road, or make a decision quick and change your life. So I chose, just like you did, I decided to choose the path of positivity. So, and I guess that's when I stumbled upon this movie, The Peaceful Warrior, and that movie kind of changed my life. And I think there's this book by, I'm sure you've heard of the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Yeah, I've never read it, but I've heard of that book. Yeah, yeah.
You should actually, yeah. So that book also had a profound impact on me. So that book basically like teaches you about your mind and your thoughts and everything. So that book and the movie The Peaceful Warrior, so kind of led me into this path of, let's say, positivity. And that's one thing led to another, and then I got into meditation. I follow Buddhism, so as a way of life rather than as a religion. So, and I
Right.
consider the Buddha as a spiritual leader and a philosopher rather than a god, like many people do. So that's how I got, and I think it's been around 6-7 years now since I
Yeah.
started meditation, and it's changed, like, no, I mean, it's changed me like spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, my mental dimensions as well. And you can say I'm much, much, much happier than I
Mhm.
was 6-7 years ago. And I'm right now 27, so if you want to know my
Okay.
age. So I'm right now
Gotcha.
27, and it much happier, and my perspective on life has changed. So there was a time back in those days I kind of like just hated everyone. I don't know, for no reason. No,
Yeah.
I guess that had a lot to do with the fact that I hated myself a lot. So kind of self-love is a big thing, So I started loving myself more. So once you realize that, when you start loving yourself more, I think people automatically love you as well. So you cannot expect others to love you if you don't love yourself, and self-respect as well. So yeah, and there was a time when I never smiled, so I can, at least now I do smile from time to time. So
There you go.
it's a journey
That's always
actually.
good.
So you can't say it's a journey, so it'll continue forever. You should never stop. So there's no limit you can reach. The sky is the limit. So keep doing it, experimenting it, go as
100%.
far as you can. So
That's the name of the game, right? Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
exactly. I think people focus more on the destination rather than the journey. So I would rather focus on the journey than the destinations. Most of the people, why they quit in life is, I think, they focus on the destination and they miss out on the journey. So meditation is all about the journey rather than the destination. So if you enjoy the journey, then yeah.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, life is just a journey. There's no end, because you always have to wake up the next day until you don't wake up the next day, and then it's over. So you always have more to do. There's always more to experience. So it's not about getting somewhere and then you can be happy, and then you can feel like this, and then you can do whatever you want. It's like, it's all, the only thing that really is, as cliche as it may be, is the now, the present. Because without that, there's no such thing as anything else other than the future and past that are created up here. The now is the only thing that truly is. So yeah, man, that's what meditation, shows you. It gives you the ability to really be present to now, and as small of a thing as that may sound, it's so much more powerful when you can do it and do it very consistently and feel it in your daily life. It makes you a lot more emotionally strong. Yeah.
Exactly. I think people don't realize how powerful your mind actually is. So I think once people realize the power of their subconscious mind, then people will stop calling them coincidences and accidents. I think
It really
if you
isn't.
truly believe,
Yeah.
then the subconscious mind will get you there. So it's all about realizing the power
100%.
of your mind.
Yeah,
So that,
that's the plan. Yeah, for sure. So, would you say you have any last few tips of like what you recommend to anyone who's just starting, or the key things to keep in mind or to focus on when you're meditating, or how to make it easier? Any tips like that?
exactly. I think many people, my friends and colleagues alike, when they ask me like, how do you meditate? So for them, I think meditation, they considered it some kind of special power only a few possess or something. So it's like meditation, you have to go through some training or you have to attend some
Yeah.
monastery or something. So what they don't realize is meditation is actually quite simple. It's not as complicated as people realize. So many people ask me, how do you meditate? I mean, nothing. I just sit down, I empty my mind, and I try to control my thoughts. So I think you mentioned in one of your videos as well, many people, when they're starting out meditation, they want to go the distance like half an hour, 1 hour. I think you mentioned in your video as well. So rather than that, how about we start with, let's say, shorter distance, like 2 minutes, 5 minutes. And from there, as once you get used to it, I think, let's not pressurize yourself into like going the distance. It's all about quality over quantity. So if you do 2 minutes of qualitative meditation, that's more than enough. So rather than doing half an hour with no effective result as such. So you want to start out with 2 3 minutes and then keep increasing as time goes by. And it's all about emptying your mind, focusing in the true moment, and it's all about controlling your emotions, changing your
Yeah.
negative thoughts with positive thoughts, and the rest is all about self-realization. I think you don't even need tips. If you really want to meditate, if you really want to change, your subconscious mind will do the rest for you. So it's like, it's all about self-realization. It'll happen on its own. So
Mm,
that's my
okay.
tip for everyone.
Solid. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, perfect, man. So overall, I guess if the last thing I would say to on meditation is that once you build some momentum, you build some skill. I think another big key thing you could try and do is have an intention when you go into meditation. So once you develop the ability, you can go in with a focus of, okay, lately I've been feeling like this, or this has been an issue for me. I want to focus on this and see how I could, or see, like, observe that, see what's really happening. Say if you you went through you got fired at work, or something specific is bothering you, and it's been bothering you for a while. Meditation too, and having the focus of that, and like intention to try and minimize and understand why you feel this way, how to limit that, and how to improve it, is another key thing you could do too down the line. But again, as you mentioned, it's really just about self-realization too. You just gotta allow it to happen, and then you could start to build an intention once you improve some skill. Any last things on that?
Yeah, like you said, it's all about intention, and it's like it's all about that choice and that decision. It's all about your choices. So it's not like destiny or something like many people view. It's the choices you make. So if your choice is your intent is to really meditate and improve, then that's where you start actually, and then from there on it's meditation, and things will fall into place on its own.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, yeah, good stuff, man. So here, I'm not going to keep you up too long. I know it's nighttime over there for you in Nepal, but
I sleep late, so it's it's all.
What's that?
I sleep late at night. So
okay, so you got some time, man. Perfect though. But again, I want to thank you a lot, Sameep, for coming on in. If you want to just shout out your channel, I don't know if you have any social media or something that you can talk about here too. You can go ahead and do that right now.
Yeah, sure. First of all, once again, thanks for having me over. It was a really enjoyable and helpful session, and I'm sure I learned as much as you did, and as much as the viewers will. I don't know. Let's see how many viewers you have. And please do. I just started my YouTube channel, and it's kind of my hobby rather than career. I'm not going to make a career out of it. It's just my passion. So my channel name is Sameep Inspires. I think it'll be in the description, in the link in the description. The link is in the description. You can always check the link out and subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. And honestly speaking, I don't care how many subscribers I have. I'll continue making videos, be it just 1 subscriber or 5 subscriber or a million subscriber, doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna continue making videos because it's about me and about however I can impact people. That's that. So thanks once again for having me over.
Yeah, no problem, Sameep. So thanks again. Again, yeah, we're just gonna keep coming with the content and put out everything just for the information to help people, because this is the kind of stuff I wish I knew before, right? So I think we're just gonna keep this going for a very long time. But again, thanks a lot for coming on over. Anyone who's watching this, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, take a look at his channel, Sameep Insipires. I'll put that in the description. But other than that, thanks again, man. We will definitely talk soon. Do this again.
Sure. I think we should do this more often then.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure. And thanks again. Okay.
All right, no problem. Go ahead, stop there.